Howdy.
Howdy ho.
The Cody Pod. The Cody Experience. Oh, that's a good way to start the podcast.
It very well is, dude. The mountains are always blue. Originally, it was supposed to be cowboys and Indians, but somehow we got Indians and a guy who looked like he just got off the oil rig.
I was just saying that you trucker. You're straight trucker vibes.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, though, we are building a Bucky's, though, so
There is going to be a Bucky's. That's fucking crazy.
Bucky's in Arizona.
I'm surprised. And then, so I don't think there's a Bucky's in New Mexico. So it skipped the whole state, and now it's over here. And then what's funny is all the way out in Buckeye.
Bro.
But you've been to Bucky's before, right?
No, I have not.
So Bucky's always has the cleanest bathrooms and every amenity you can think of. It's like the trucker's Walmart, pretty much.
Yeah,
it is fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude, it's from what I've heard, it's become its own cult, pretty much. Their own following.
I have a shirt that
I'm ready to join, dude. I'm ready.
Dude, you need to, because I have a shirt that's the Bucky's logo, right? The what is the beaver?
Yeah, Bucky the beaver.
Is it a beaver? No, I think it's a different animal. I don't know. All I know is it has buck tooth.
Well, we have Google, so.
My sister has one. My mom has a shirt like that. So it's kind of like a staple.
It is.
It really is. And then the food there is amazing, man.
I've heard that about the barbecue.
Oh my god, the pulled pork sandwiches. Oh, it's to die for. It's fucking good.
Bro, all the Navajo food you've been feeding me for the past hour, that makes me more hungry for that. I just want you to know.
That's one of my favorite foods is pulled pork sandwiches. You know, right here where we live, it's Rudy's. So Rudy's is really good. Their barbecue sandwiches are good.
Okay.
But across the street, right here, where the closest Rudy's is to us, I forget what it's called, but it's it's a barbecue house. But honestly, I think their barbecue is way better than Rudy's, and they have a special too, a lunch special. I think it's
Bucky's or Rudy's?
No, right across the street from Rudy's. It's a barbecue house. I forget the name of it, but their barbecue pulled pork sandwiches are fucking good. Oh. And then they have a lunch special. It's $7.99 for a drink, the pulled pork sandwich, and I think a bag of chips.
Dude, we should have done this 5 hours later. I'm getting so hungry off this right now.
It's good. If you like barbecue, that's one of the few places that I found outside of Texas that has good barbecue sandwiches. And there's usually not a lot of people that go there too, so it's pretty quick when you try to get your food.
Yeah, I did confirm Bucky is a beaver.
So Bucky is a beaver then.
Yep, beloved by patrons for its beaver mascot, massive footprint, unique snacks, and cleanliness.
Yeah, the bathroom. See, I'm telling you, the bathroom, it's clean. They take super pride in that.
I mean, that is a good idea though, especially for a truck stop gas station. That's a public restroom. Because everybody, when you think public restroom, you always think of
it's grimy or there's throw up or something on the floor.
Yeah,
and you're
bubonic plague.
God.
You know, it's
They're. I know the first thing when I first went to Bucky's, what caught my eye was how many freaking gas pumps they had. It was close to 50 gas pumps, literally.
Yeah, aren't they
just lined up,
obscenely large?
Holy shit, yes. And they have one whole full side, and then they'll have a corner, and they'll have more gas pumps on that side. You're like, God damn! I swear to God, there's 50 plus pumps.
Really?
Yes, it is crazy. And then they have the diesel section too. On top of that,
so that's not even including
it's just gasoline.
That's regular cars.
It's straight unleaded. That's all you got right there, and then you got the diesel side.
Bro, if they made something for EVs because of my little Nissan,
I'm pretty sure that they have charging stations there too.
Please,
I'm pretty sure they do.
I will officially join the religion. I will knock door to door for them like I'm a Mormon, but for Bucky's.
How did we start talking about Bucky's?
I did bring up the conversation for Bucky's. I think
I don't know, but I'm glad that they're coming here. Yeah, for sure. I'm super excited. I think it's going to be done, the end of this year?
Something like that. Yeah, I think they announced it.
Yeah, they said December or November. They're going to...
Turn of the year.
It's going to be done.
We gotta go there, dude. Like it's
Yes, yeah, for sure. Because going out that way too, I can bump into a bunch of my other buddies that I grew up with. Because I lived out there in Buckeye. I
oh, I
grew up
did
in
not know
Buckeye.
that. No.
Well, I went to high school there. That's where kind of like where I grew up a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, I grew up in Phoenix, but then like around third grade is when we went out there to because back in the day it was like the housing was a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
So we got like a brand new home and stuff like that, and then fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, all the way up to high school, and that's where I stayed at for the longest. I even enlisted out of Buckeye.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't see us moving. I think it's because you're camouflaged, just being a Navajo Indian. You're, like, still trying to be-
I just blend in with the furniture.
Yeah, you're an expert hunter. I can tell what animal this is by smelling its droppings. Like, really? Yeah, my dog
How?
shit on the floor.
How?
Ohio, konbanwa.
Konbanwa. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Wow, you must be so unique. Where is he from? Oh, he's from Phoenix. He grew up in Levine.
You have such a way with words.
Yeah. Like, homie, I grew up in Detroit, man. Like, what are you talking about?
Did you ever go to Okie Pokey?
Okie Pokey? Okinawa?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was deployed
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I was on Camp Swap for 6 months.
Yeah, I was trying to remember if you were. I know. Remember, what was his name? The grand old man over there when we used to work at Grunt Style.
Oh, James.
James, yes, yeah. He went there too, right? From what he said.
I don't remember actually. I think no, he was Desert Storm. I think wasn't
Yeah, he was a Desert Storm Marine, but I know he went on that little deployment to Okie Pokey.
Yeah,
and I think he was on Hanson. Is what he was saying.
All right,
if I remember correctly. But
yeah. I never thought to call it Okie Pokey of all the names, which is like really.
It's just a little stupid like nickname.
But it's so common though. It's like, how did I miss?
But it was good, right? The food was good. The
Japan's
environment.
amazing.
Oh man, I miss Japan.
Dude, with how bad they're populate, like because I've heard that they're trying to incentivize workers and stuff. I will consider. I'm considering living there at some point.
You know what they were trying to do? What I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that those guys are reaching out for like foreigners to come and make babies with. Yeah, exactly. Make babies with. Yeah.
Shit,
and they're gonna pay foreigners to make because their population's on the decline right now.
I gotta get there before all the weeaboos do, man. Make those super jeans, man.
The fucking weebs.
Some fucking nerd virgin who sat in his room watching anime for the past 8 years, just trying to like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Japan.
There's this fucking TikTok that I've been like not following, but it's been coming up on my feed and stuff like that. It's this one guy who's just like, he's like really like he pushes the cringiness on that, and he's like I'm Pepe Ledoux or something like that, and like he's like whoa, like he's like just cringy, bro, like super anime cringy, like that guy's in real life he smells funny. He smells like urine and old soda.
Yeah.
I swear to God, bro. And then I just see like his like little memes and TikToks and stuff like that. And it's I'm just like, oh man, it's cringy, but it's funny. I can't stop watching. I can't look away.
Yeah, a couple episodes ago, I was talking with one guy. He went to Korea.
Yeah,
and I think this is mainly in Japan. They might be doing it in Korea too, but they have like it's basically like a second Valentine's Day over there. So like they have
second Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I think it was some kind of like fertility holiday, but apparently like you try to court a woman by like giving her a gift or something like that, and then I guess if she accepts it, then like that's a sign that she's like into you, and you just do whatever after that.
So I do know that the Koreans, they have an emphasis on like sexual holidays and stuff like that. Oh, babe, you want to show your face on the camera? But they do, because like I know sometimes they have statues of like phallic things.
Of what things?
Like penis shaped stuff. They know they do. It's crazy in Korea. And then what's funny is like Korea and Japan are there's like to us they're similar, but at the same time, if you get the culture and you understand it, it's totally like opposite.
They're two different.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy, and even now today they still have animosity to each other. It's crazy.
I don't know if you know this, but Asians will be the first people to admit this. They are the most racist people on the face of the planet.
Oh,
they
hell yeah!
They talk so much shit to each other. It's the funniest thing.
It's like, oh, you're Filipino, oh, and then they'll make some fucking some like monkey joke or something like that. Go eat a mango, or
dude. It's Nazario. If you're ever out there, I love you, dude. Miss you, but he's half Korean, half Puerto Rican. Freaking weird mix. I don't know how that came in. But he talked about, because his mother's South Korean, and he talked about like some of the, because that's how I first learned it. And he mentioned that Koreans, they hate Filipinos. He said they look at Filipinos the same way that Americans look at Mexicans.
Oh, that they're dirty and all that other stuff.
Well, he said because a lot of Filipinos, they go to Korea just for citizenship, so that's why they look at them. They kind of look at them as like they're illegals. Do you
remember a lot of like the products that they had like at stores and stuff like that for like beauty products?
Like in Japan?
It was a whole new line of. I'm just saying in Asia in general, that they had like bleaching products like a lotion that will bleach your skin because like white is beautiful.
Yeah.
To them, and then even in Japan, when they would go on the beaches and stuff like that, they would cover themselves. They would wear big hats, like long sleeves, and like to us it's different, right? Because like usually when you go to the beach, you're wearing just your trunks, and then the women are wearing like bikinis.
And you want to get tan.
Yeah, and that's the goal, is to get tan. But for them, it's totally opposite. It's like it's 180.
That's interesting because
it's crazy. I've seen it so many times where I'm just like, huh.
Now, is that like the women who you usually do that? Or like
it is women, but like honestly, I think Korea kind of takes it up a little bit more. Is like the guys try to look feminine too. I don't know if you noticed that, if you've seen like in like K-dramas and stuff like that, or you see like they got their eyebrows done and like they do wear makeup. There's guy makeup.
Yeah,
in Korea, and I think there is in Japan too.
No wonder their population's collapsing. They don't want.
That's what I'm saying. That's why they're trying to bring like foreigners to come and mate with their women.
Yeah, I see Maddie in the corner, and I'm just like, I'm trying to like
pay
attention. Mama. She's just looking so cute over there.
I know. She's looking like a little strawberry.
We're not keeping you up, are we, Kat? Like we're not doing.
Okay. Do you want to come into the camera bit? Say hello.
She just looks so calm, just looking at you.
For the viewers right here, there's my daughter and my beautiful wife.
Chief Blue Mountain is added to the tribe.
I added one to the tribe. And this is a Chief Squatting Dog.
Yes. I've been upgraded to Chief. I just need to actually get a tribe now of people who are willing to follow instead of just calling me Squatting Dog.
There is the food was like super healthy.
Yeah,
it was I don't know, it's definitely way different than here. Like if you order the same thing, like say McDonald's, our McDonald's here, we're used to that like greasiness, the fats and all that other stuff that's in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But Japan, when you order the same burger, it for some reason it tastes cleaner and healthier, and like you don't feel like bad about eating it.
No, yeah, like you can eat, and then like after an hour you're like, yeah, I can eat again. Like,
yeah, it's like it doesn't feel like it's going into your bloodstream.
It has to be like because I remember listening to some health doctors talk about this, because they said like they'll study like Americans and then like people in East Asia doing the same exact diet, but like the Asians always get the best of it, and they think it's the chemicals, because it's like if they're eating the same exact stuff, it's like what other variable is there?
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think that's freaking true, because when I came back home on leave, for some reason, and here I was in Japan for, I think at this point, about a year and some change, I was craving Panda Express. You know, being in Japan and then wanting Panda Express.
Yeah.
So my buddy took me to Panda Express, and immediately, as soon as I started, I ate like 3 freaking pieces of chicken, and then the fried rice.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I ran to the bathroom. I was like, oh my god!
It just went through you like a bullet train.
Oh my god! It was heavy, And I was like, Jesus Christ, what the hell? And I honestly, I think I did clog that toilet too. And this Panda Express just opened up, so I was like, "Oh my god, we gotta go, we gotta go." As soon as I walked out, I was like, "Bro, let's come on, just a second to go." I think I clogged the toilet because when I flushed, it like filled up and everything. I was like, "Oh no, I'm out of here."
Did it fill up? But it was like not going down.
Oh, it was going up, and I just left. I didn't even want to stay to. I didn't want to stay to see if it did. I just took off. I was like, "Fuck, no."
Dude, that's the scariest feeling because, like, you know how like at least when a toilet rises, it still makes that like swirl motion, but like it's scary when it just rises and there's no swirl. It just like
and then you're just holding your breath and you're like, go down, please go down. Yeah, no, I think I did clog that toilet, but man, I couldn't even enjoy it. I ate as like I said, like 3 pieces of chicken, and then I was like, oh fuck no, I can't. This is messing up my stomach too bad.
Now, did you have authentic ramen and sushi when you were over?
Oh god, yes. Oh yeah. That I was gonna get to that point with like there's my buddy, the one that took me to that Panda Express.
Yeah.
His little sister right now, as we speak, she's over there in Okinawa.
Okay.
Because her husband, he has a brother that's in the Air Force, so he's on Kadena.
Oh,
and so he invited them to come over, and they're over there right now. And I was telling, I messaged her, I was like, hey, you have to try Coco's. The good. You've had Coco's, right? It's like the
I feel like I have. I know
they have the chicken cutlet curry is one of their most known dishes. Okay. It's well, they have like the Japanese curry on chicken cutlets.
Yeah,
and on top of white rice.
Ooh.
And they have like different levels of like heat, and then you know, having being stationed on Foster, and then one of our Cocos is like right outside the gate.
Yeah,
you know, we would send someone to go, you know, pick up lunch for us, and then we'd have them take orders. I'm like, yeah, give me a chicken cutlet curry level 4, please, because like level 5 is a little bit too spicy. Level 4 is enough heat, but it's still I still enjoy the food. Oh, that was always a treat, man. I miss Coco. They have a Coco's here in California.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mm-hmm. In Irvine.
I will say, speaking of, I don't know if you've actually seen it, but like, speaking of curry, there's actually like Indian, like from Indian that like live on Okinawa, and that's like the weirdest, but like
they have Brazilians too, and Jamaicans.
My mind has been running through me how to do speak Japanese, but with a Jamaican accent. Like, it's got to be arigato. Like, I can't even do it. Like, it's that unimaginable.
It is crazy. Let me just. It was
Jamaicans who speak Japanese. That's nuts.
Jamaican me crazy, man.
Arigato, hey, Jamaica me crazy.
Oh man, it was definitely a trip. Okinawa was crazy experience. It was a fun experience.
It's a great island.
Yeah, for sure. Amazing food, amazing people. On top of that, all that good stuff. I can't even deny it. There was a bunch of like creepy stuff that happened at night, especially when you're on duty, barracks duty, and then like you're sitting there trying to fucking stay awake, and then like. You know how some like in the barracks, some of the lights are like motion activated. So like if something moves, then boop, they turn back on. I know. I remember sitting in like at the duty desk, and then like obviously it's like 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning. No one's up because we have PT in the morning, so everyone's trying to get the rest. And then on one side of the hall, not the whole hallway, but the one side of the hallway, maybe the right side or the left side.
Yeah,
the lights will just turn on. I'm like, I'm looking out of the duty, like, what the fuck? Okay. And then like you hear like it sounds like someone's walking in the like, you know, like not walking with regular shoes, but walking with core frames, like clink, clink, clink. You look, no one's there. You're just like, what the fuck? Am I going crazy? Am I just that tired, or what the hell? And then even in the duty hut, like you know how your A duty would be asleep, and then you take, you know, shifts.
Yeah.
There was one where he came out and he's like, how come you didn't flush it? Or no, he said something about how come, like, why did you make so much noise? And while using the restroom. And I was like, bro, what are you talking about? I've been sitting here the whole time. He's like, what? No, I heard a flush in the duty hut bathroom. I'm like, bro, I've been literally sitting right here waiting for you to wake up so you can switch out and I can take a nap. And yeah, and then
That's some like Tales from the Grid Square kind of stuff.
Bro,
like,
it was fucking trippy because those toilets too, they're pretty, like, you have to push down on the lever really hard.
Yeah, these aren't Japanese toilets, right? These are like
American fucking. You have to push down and put some force on that.
Okay.
There's no way it can flush on accident. That, let me just put it as that.
Yeah.
And I'm baffled, and here I have to go back in that room because we're switching off now, and he woke up and he's taking my spot, and now I have to go to sleep, and I'm all over here thinking about ghosts, like, holy shit.
It's probably your ancestors like haunting you or something like that. Like you're buried on top of a burial ground or something like that. That's where the barracks are built.
Well, apparently, obviously the Marines Battle of Okinawa, there was a lot of Marines that lost their lives. Not only Marines, but like Army and
sailors,
and then on top of that, Okinawans. So there's a lot of like ghosts apparently. So when I came back home, I remember getting a ceremony done because my family they said that they can see like something following me, like a shadow of like a ghost. Like my energy was different from when I left.
Whoa.
Yeah,
and this is your Navajo family saying this.
This
right?
is my mom and my sister. They were the ones that told me that. They're
okay, like, I trust their word on this one.
It was something, and like I was like, really, huh? Let me take a look at like more of the history. I already knew the history of Okinawa, obviously in World War II, but like of other stuff. I know there was my buddy who was on station on Hansen. He was telling me that there was a story if you're on duty and you go out to the smoke pit, and sometimes there'll be a fucking old Marine coming up to you asking for a light and a cig, and then you'll be like, yeah, because you're tired from duty, and you'll light his cig and you'll look away and then you'll look back and then there's a lit cigarette on the floor. Yeah, it's a ghost of a Marine that's on duty and stuff like that. And then actually on Kadina's cameras at the gate, there's like an entity. You can see like a black orb coming up and coming through the gate.
Dude, that's nuts.
There's a video on that, and there's another one with the suicide cliffs that they have in Okinawa. On the southern part.
Yeah.
There's a video of like this person, like showing off the cliffs, and then like just briefly you can see someone like it looks like a person standing up, but like kind of like shadowy. And then you see like through the camera, like obviously the person who filmed it they didn't see the person. So they're just like kind of like going through like the panoramic, kind of like going through, and then you see the shadow, and then you just see the shadow just jump off.
Dude, that's nuts.
It's crazy, bro. There's actual videos on YouTube that like we can pull up and we can see it.
Holy shit, dude, that's crazy.
Okinawa apparently has a lot of ghosts.
That's nuts, man. Dude, to go back to the Asians, like the Asians being racist thing,
Is that all you got from?
No, I have a John Basselin one I wanted to tell you too, but there's I don't know how true, like I forget who told me this, but supposedly when like the Battle of Okinawa was being fought, the way that the Japanese thought of Americans was because they knew that a lot of us had, like, being mostly white, that we had like blue and green eyes.
Yeah.
They knew that goats also had like blue and green eyes as well. So during night times, they would send Okinawan civilians to go check out the like American positions at night, because they thought that because Americans have the same color eyes as goats, that they can't see as good.
You know what they used to do too, is that the Japanese army would tell the Okinawans, like, if you get caught by the Americans, they're just gonna rape you and like kill you slowly. So a lot of them were obviously fearful about the Japanese, but at the same time they were like, it's like what's the worst or evil?
I love this outfit, but I'm heating up.
It's hot. That's for winter.
Yeah, dude. Like it's 100 degrees out. Like I got alcohol in my system. I'm not even rolling the sleeves down, dude. I'm not even doing that. might need to strip this off soon. God bless. And anyways, continue.
Yeah, I remember going to they had I forget what it's called actually, but it's like the tunnels, the caves that the Japanese used to have. Suicide caves or something like that.
Yeah, I saw those when we were in we went to
Did you go to that?
Yeah, it was Hacksaw Ridge. We saw some when we were
yeah.
I think I got pictures of it on my phone actually.
I actually like went down into like the tour, and like just being in the tunnel and stuff like that was crazy. And then the spot where all those like Japanese officers and NCOs where they committed suicide, where they pulled a grenade and put it to the chest, you can see the fragmentation inside the walls. Yeah, and there was like literally fragmentation like all over, and you cracked the concrete walls.
God bless.
It was crazy. You just like sit there and look at it. You're like, what the? And then these tunnels are not like you probably put one hand like on the wall like this, and then it's only this much more, and it's that small. And then like how they went through all that stuff, and obviously Okinawa was bombed like crazy. Just to limit the loss of life for Americans. But man, it was just surreal. And then it was the battle tour or whatever that at the time I was a lance corporal. It was my corporal who was kind of like into like CrossFit, into getting in shape and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He made us all ride bikes to all these battle sites, which was, I mean, it was cool.
Yeah.
But god damn.
Oh yeah, when you're in, you're like, dude, fuck it, I just want to go back home.
It was a really humbling experience to see all that stuff too. And then at the end of the like the battle site tour, we went to the suicide caves, and that's where they have like a memorial. They have all these like memorandums about like some of the Okinawans that were like 6-7 years old, and like they wrote down like their memoirs a little bit of like. There was one I know in the museum. There was one where it always sticks out to me. It was about this little girl. She was taking care of her baby brother, and she said like, I lost my mom yesterday. My dad he hasn't came back home. But I'm still going to try to find some food. The Americans are coming, like all this other like stuff, and it's like you can see it's in little like kid handwriting. Yeah, it is so humbling. I'm like, what the
I will say though, man, like that is one thing. Like I wish we appreciated that. Like I don't think a lot of people appreciate. I know I didn't. Like when we were over there.
Yeah. It's just one thing. One of those things. It's just like, god damn.
Yeah, it's like you read about it in books, but then like when you're up close and personal,
when you're touching, like when it's tangible.
Yeah,
and then that's when it starts like
oh, this is a real thing. Like, these are real people.
Exactly,
like, just like us, dude.
It is crazy. It is. I don't know, man. That always stuck out to me, for sure. And on top of that, like, I have a lot of funny stories about Okinawa, of, like having a good time, but at the same time, on top of that, I have a lot of like kind of like what the fuck moments.
Yeah.
I know when I
catching a ghost.
Yeah, it's oh my god. There was one where when I got NJP'd.
Yeah. You never told me about this.
I got NJP'd for liberty violation. So I came back after liberty time.
Okay.
And okay, so full disclosure, I actually been doing this for a long time. I just ended up getting caught this one time because
so there's no allegedly in this one. There's
no, it's yeah, I deserved it. I definitely this one time I actually, because there was one, his name was, we bullied him like no other. He was one of those fuck up. He's like private pile kind of marine,
like on the spectrum a little bit.
Yeah, and you just like haze the fuck out of him.
Yeah, okay.
So I felt bad because like I felt like I don't like bullies at all, but I wanted to have him join us, take him out. And then here he was sick. He was taking medication for his cold or flu. He had something.
Yeah.
And then mixing, the Navy's cold medicine with alcohol. That made him like it hit him hard. So he ended up leaving us. He said he was gonna go to the ATM. We were like, okay, we'll see you in a bit. Like we thought he was gonna walk to the ATM. No, he got a taxi going back to Camp Kinzer. He went to Camp Kinzer, and this was like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. This is already past Liberty time.
Yeah.
He ends up trying to tell the gate guards that he's a first sergeant, and he's trying to get back on base for pulling money. Yeah, I don't know, dude. And then he ends up getting in trouble. And
how far did he get with that? Did it stop with the whole on the first sergeant thing?
It stopped immediately, bro. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I had to say, you don't look any older than like 12, dude. Like,
bro, he ended up like.
I will say this just because I don't know. In his defense, did he at least look kind of older?
He does look kind of like an old man.
Oh, okay.
He does. He does kind of look old, but
so he's not out of the realm to try to like push this off as a lie, is he? Like he's. I mean, obviously he's lying, but like, if he's trying to play it off like he's an actor.
So think about this. He's only 22, I think, or 21 at the moment.
Yeah,
but he looks like he's 30. But
okay,
there is no way in hell that he can pass off as a first sergeant.
Even though he looks like he's 30.
Even though he looks old, he just gives off that vibe that he's not. So they end up pulling his Liberty card, and then it says it has our unit on there, 3rd Battalion, and that's when obviously the natural question is to ask, who was your Liberty buddies?
Oh no.
Yeah, and then him being in that alcoholic drug state of trying to get better from the flu, he mentions his unit, but he doesn't rat us out. And then my buddy's on duty, and he's calling us. He's like, "Hey, bro, you guys got to get back because first sergeant's calling a formation."
Oh no!
And I was like, "God damn it!" So we're trying to rush back. Yeah, we end up getting caught at the gate. We're trying to make up a lie, like hey, we're doing a Humvee night course or something like that. we're trying to pass off that, and then they weren't having it. They end up arresting us, and we end up going to the brig.
They arrested you guys?
Yeah. And then our first sergeant and our master sergeant had to come and pick us up.
Oh God.
and then my first sergeant, she's a woman.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. Like this like little man syndrome.
Yeah.
But in a woman. And she's Latina.
Oh my
God.
Oh
yeah.
no, one of the fucking Latino Marines.
Yeah, we were roasted. She was blasting the shit out of us.
I mean, how do you take that seriously though? How tall is she? Like
bro, she was like a nugget.
Oh man.
It was all I remember was still being obviously I was fucking intoxicated.
Yeah.
And then the next morning I was like, did that really fucking happen? I'm like, holy shit, this sucks. So I ended up getting NJP'd, right?
Yeah.
But we were with one of my buddies. He was a corporal. I was a lance corporal. He got demoted. What's funny is, long story short, since I was a lance corporal, obviously I was like 45 restriction, and restricted pay, all that good stuff. I ended up getting promoted 2 months later.
Corporal. Yes.
So I used to tell him, I was like, dude, we did a big old switcheroo.
Dude, that's fucking hilarious. So your buddy was
he was a corporal.
PFC?
He went down back to Lance.
Oh, just to Lance.
Yeah, he went back down to Lance.
I was about to say, if they busted him to PFC and put you to corporal, dude, that's the. Who did you ask to promote you when you got promoted to corporal?
Dude, it was my roommate and one of my other buddies that we came from boot camp together all the way to our unit.
Please tell me that Latina first sergeant was the one reading your promotion warrant.
It was the master sergeant that read the promotion warrant. She was there, but she didn't read it. It was the master sergeant.
Did she mutter anything under her breath?
No. Well, I mean, she looked at me because, like, obviously, when you shake the NCO's hands and stuff like that, she was looking at me. She was like she smiled, but gave me like a head.
You're just accepting the warrant, like how the turns have tabled.
Oh, y'all, sir.
Or aye, ma'am, whatever.
But okay, so the point of the story was when I got NJP'd, I had to be back on the first floor, in these, because so it was me and that guy Lopez that we had to stay in the same room
If I can cut you off, I love how you mentioned like the point of the story is right after you mentioning you didn't really get any punishment and then you get promoted 2 months later.
So the punishment was that I had to 45 days of restriction and 45 days of restricted pay, and I had to clean the water fountain scuttlebutts. I had to pull weeds outside.
All the
that
kind of
right?
stuff. Yeah.
Check in with the duty every 2 hours,
Yeah.
all the way until 10, and all that good stuff. But so in my Marine Corps, they even restricted me to not wearing civilian clothes, so I had to wear like green on green.
Really?
Yeah. I couldn't wear any of my civilian clothes. I couldn't have my phone. I couldn't have my laptop. I couldn't have my iPad. I couldn't have nothing like that. I mean, I did sneak it.
Yeah.
I snuck it and I hid it because they would do inspections, like trying to check on us and make sure we don't have any of that good stuff.
Yeah.
But the way the barracks or the room that we were staying in, so we've already been hearing about ghosts and stuff like that happens in our barracks. We're on the first floor, and that's the one that's the scariest part.
Yeah.
So my bed is like this, and bed is like this. The window's right here on the wall, and
you live next? So you live.
Well, no, we had to stay with each other for 45 days because we had to be isolated. Yeah, we had to go into the.
Yeah, I was about to ask, what happened to him? Like, what was his punishment for?
The same thing. It was he didn't get demoted. He was a lance corporal too. We just had to do the same exact thing. We got demoted on our pay and be restricted to the barracks. We had to do 45. But he's like kind of like an artist. He loves to like draw and paint and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he would stay up a little bit. I would go to sleep. I would try to get as much rest as I can. His wall locker was right next to his bed. Like his bed's like this, his wall locker's like this, and then the whole room's like this, and then the door is like way over here. So I was taking a nap before I had to go check in with the duty, and my lamp was on. And then his wall locker, his door was open. And then, like, how in the wall locker there's like a crack that you can see kind of, because he can see me, and he thought that I got up and went to the restroom. But here, I was sleeping the whole time. He said he saw something get up and walk. And he saw it through the crack, and he didn't think nothing of it until he looked again and he saw me, and I was just laying in bed.
Dude, yo.
And then so get this. What he does is he freaks the fuck out, right? He's like, "What the hell? I thought you were up." Okay, I'm going to smoke pit. I'm like, and then he wakes me up, and I'm like, "What happened?" And then he just leaves, and I'm like, "What? What the fuck?" I was like, "Bro, what?" And I had to get up like really quick, put on my shoes, and walk. I was like, "Bro, what the fuck happened?" He's like, "Dude, I literally saw you get up and go to the restroom." I was like, "No, I was asleep. I was asleep the whole fucking time." He's like, "Yeah, I know. That's why I got up and I ran off." I was like, "Bro, and you didn't tell me? You just leave me in there in the room."
Someone's got to be sacrificed so we can make out, dude.
That's what I was like, "You motherfucker, you gonna leave me with the ghost in there?"
Well, I mean, you can't let a first sergeant get killed, though. I mean, this
fucking first sergeant. I'm gonna take the bullet for him. I'm the bullet sponge.
Yep. Oh, man, those ghost stories are nuts. I mean, I didn't even know that was a thing when I was in Okinawa.
It's definitely a thing. I don't know if you can even ask one of those fucking like Air Force guys, those airmen. They probably have some stories.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously they're living in luxury over there with carpet and no duty, and they have they don't have to share a bathroom.
They don't have duty?
No, dude, they have cameras.
What?
Yeah, exactly. No one stands duty. They have cameras that watches, and then they outsource it. So there's like a civilian that watches the cameras.
They outsource their duty.
Yeah, exactly. Barracks duty. That's why I'm like, what the fuck? And their bathrooms doesn't smell like mold.
We need to let the Coast Guard be in the GOG and then put the Air Force in Homeland Security, bro. Like, on God, dude. Air Force is like the amount of junk that they blow their money on. Like, there's no need. They need to be getting that funding.
It is. I think it's just jealousy of us being jealous about that.
It's 50. Honestly, though, I would say that is true, but I think two things can be true at once.
What's the other true thing? You already know. You know what I'm going to say about this one.
Wait, what do you
mean? Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me just say this. Who has the best looking women in the DoD?
100% Air Force.
Exactly. And then like Marine women are like butch and like they have a 5 o'clock shadow.
The hair and the bun thing, dude. I feel like the Marine Corps does have some decent looking women, but I feel like the hair thing kind of kills it for a lot. Because there are some that are pretty like drop dead gorgeous, but because of the uniform and the look, it just kind of kills it for them.
I think our MOS though, we didn't really see much of it. Because like what in
So what was your MOS when you were in
1341 heavy equipment mechanic?
Okay.
So there was 2 women throughout my tenure as a mechanic. And let's just say one of them, hardcore lesbian, always had dip in her mouth.
Hell yeah.
And the other one was
she's like, probably into clothes like this then.
No, serious. Yeah.
Cargo pants and long flannel sail up the
always a dip, bro. Always. And she was dating a corpsman, a Navy corpsman lady.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for her, man.
They're not together no more, but her name was Turner. We used to call it Turn Bob.
Turner, yeah, that is a lesbian last name, bro.
And get this, the other female Marine, her last name was Turner too.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's clutch, dude. If they got married, they don't have to change last names. It's just save some paperwork, man.
No, the other one though is like she was like a boot to us, obviously, because like at that time I've been at EMC for like a year and some change. I was about an EAS back or
what's EMC?
Engineering Maintenance Company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the 3rd Battalion Engineering Maintenance Company, CLR 35.
Oh, okay. You got to forgive me some of the lingo because being a grunt, it's more.
It's different.
The layout's much more simplistic, but for you guys, it's like it ranges per MOS. So.
Yeah, I know with us it was a Combat Logistics Regiment 35. They disbanded, by the way, too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just telling Kat this. They just disbanded, I think, 2 or 3 years ago.
So your unit's gone? Like
their EMC is gone. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, what the fuck? Because EMC was there. I think 1962 or something like that is when they became a company and got like kind of brought to life.
Yeah.
So
I'd assume something Vietnam related, probably then, right?
Yeah, because EMC at like the get go was a non-deployable unit.
Oh, really?
So we're a tier 3, like maintenance shop. So that means like we're island essential, we're mission essential. Like we do the big things, like move big old hydraulic like cylinders, engines. We remove. I removed the transmission and the engine, all these big things, big jobs.
Yeah.
And then like any other maintenance shop on the island, if they put in a request that hey our engine took a shit when a cylinder blew out or something like that, then that's when they call us. And then that's the reason why I got my Humvee license, was to go ahead and we had a Humvee that was literally the back of the Humvee was a giant toolbox.
Really?
So yeah, we go to these other units and then fix up their stuff because we're third echelon.
Yeah.
So we were mission essential, but our unit wouldn't be deployable, but we can send onesies and twosies to support other units, like especially the ones that are in Afghanistan or something like that.
Yeah.
All this other crazy stuff. So we kind of had like a chip on the shoulder. We're like, hey, we're the motherfuckers that you got to call. Kind of like we're kind of like sticking our chest out a little bit. And we're like, hey, we're the badass motherfuckers. Yeah, that was EMC. I think all the Marines that were with EMC at the time when they disbanded, I think they went to 9th ESB.
Okay.
Engineering Support Battalion.
Okay.
So I think they got absorbed by them, if I'm not mistaken. I know there's CAB, Combat Assault Battalion.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of them.
You probably bumped in with a lot of CAB Marines.
Yeah, we had some.
in Schwab.
Yeah, well, when I was on the MEU, we deployed. I'm pretty sure we had, because there was like another like Pogue element that was attached with us. I'm like 99% sure it was them that was with
It's
us.
most likely cab and 9th ESB.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my cousin is right now with 9th ESB.
Okay.
So he tried to become a combat engineer, but the Marine Corps had other decisions. You know how the Marine Corps does. Marine Corps gets what it wants.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's a water dog, so he's a water
Oh,
specialist.
hell yeah.
Yeah. And he's attached with 9th ESB. And I was telling him, I was like, hey, once the grunts roll in, you know, you're gonna have fisticuffs with them. Because you guys get drunk together, you guys are like, oh yeah, gung ho. And then someone says something about pogues and grunts and like all this other shit, and then next thing you know, it's just a brawl.
Yeah.
The Marine Corps is like the alpha of America.
Oh yeah, we're definitely like the alpha male
Yeah.
blue collar branch of the service, hands down.
God,
It's like
by far.
there is no HR department here.
If you go to HR is going to give you one of these.
Yeah.
Here, how about this? You want to take 2 of these tonight?
They just call you a bitch and then
Yeah.
tell you to go on your way.
Hey, someone punched me. My staff sergeant punched me. Okay, and?
It's like, well, what'd you do to deserve it? It's like I told him I was a first sergeant.
Fucking again.
You have so much material that's good for callbacks, man. Like so much stuff.
Oh my god, dude. There was a lot that happened. And this is just only Oki. I'm not even talking about Yuma. Yuma was wild too.
Oh, I figured this would be good mentioning. Did you because I remember a while ago you told me this. You met one of the chicks that one of the women, may God rest her soul, who passed away
Rosario,
in
Rosario.
Kabul. Yeah. Did you meet her at Okinawa, or what was that?
It was in Okinawa, yeah. She was one of my buddy's friends. And
so can you be, just to clarify to the audience who this was?
Yeah,
who she is?
Johanny Rosario.
Wait.
She was one of the what is it? One of the 13? Was it 13?
Was it 13?
Because you got to include the corpsman that passed away.
There was corpsman and there was a soldier.
Oh, was it a soldier too?
Yeah, there was an army guy that did too.
So
was it 17 that did, or was it 13?
Was it? I don't know. We have Google, don't we?
Yeah, we do, man. Like, I don't want to misquote this because this is something.
Yeah, this is important for us. That was what is it? That's technically the last death that happened in Afghanistan for service members.
Yeah, you are right. Yeah,
that is the last one. So just to clarify, Johanny Rosario was.
You're 13. Yeah, 13
right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Johanny Rosario was one I knew personally. Cheers to the 13.
Yes.
Semper Fi to a guy.
R.I.P.
She was one of the 13 that I knew personally. Back in Okinawa, she was my buddy's friend's friend, pretty much. And then I think she was Dominican. Or something, but she knew how to dance bachata.
Okay.
So yeah, we would dance and stuff like that. So I knew her personally, but I think she was with a admin. She was admin or supply or something like that. You know, something generic, like how all female Marines are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew her personally.
So how much interaction did you have with her? Was it just that one time that you guys went bachata? Or did you meet her did you actually talk with her, did stuff with other? Because you said you just met her my buddy's buddy kind of thing.
Well, she was just like a friend for like a group, kind of like a
mutual friend.
Yeah. When we all of us would, because obviously we sign up with Liberty Buddies.
Yeah.
And when we go and go get some food or go get some drinks or something like that, it would be a group of us.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a part of the group for a little bit. That's pretty much the most interaction, but
okay.
I kind of knew her as a friend.
Yeah.
And then finding out that that happened in Kabul, I was like, what the? It kind of obviously losing Marines, it sucks.
Oh, of course. When it hits when it hits close to home.
Yeah, and then actually knowing a person and being a friend with a person, and then that friend passes away like that, just god damn.
Oh. Is it so just to backtrack, how just to kind of lead up to that, how was how was she as a person, just demeanor, vibe, how she acted?
Man, she was a fun person. She was just like, just chill, down to earth, pretty much like, obviously, you know, Marines, we make jokes and stuff like that, like kind of like sick jokes, dirty jokes, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, she was always the one to just like, oh, you motherfucker, like, you know, kind of like just laugh about it.
Yeah.
Like, and then I think our friend group was old. Everyone was like that. So it was like everyone fit in. Everyone was like under like
They had their
I don't know how to
role.
explain it. It's hard to like because like civilians, like you're always kind of nervous if someone's gonna be like, oh, like you took that too far, or like kind of like
So you kind of so you kind of walk around eggshells a little bit.
Yeah. You don't get that with any Marine actually. You don't get none of that.
Yeah.
Everyone's just joking around, smoking and joking.
Yeah, you're not reserved really or anything like that.
Yeah, but yeah, that was something when I heard about what happened in Kabul, and then even to this day, I feel a little sour about how Biden handled everything, and you know, and like how we pulled out so fast, and even his advisors was telling him we shouldn't do it like this. But you know, Biden trying to get the polls and like you know get voters and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Even nowadays, like today, he's opening the borders for all these illegals, and most of them are from China. They're not even South American.
Yeah,
he's gonna let them vote.
Mm-hmm.
They're allowed to vote. It's like I thought citizens were supposed to only vote.
Mm-hmm. If you don't mind me asking, just because like there's not a lot of natives around, and I don't mean this like in a negative way, but like especially a lot of like the East Coast guys who listen, there's not a lot of natives around, but like you're full-blooded Navajo. Like where do Navajo, like the Navajo people or like Navajo Indians stand with like a lot of like, because like now you're hitting like on the subject of like the politics and like big stuff like that, or like is it all over the place? Is it like the rest of America, or are they like big time liberal, big time conservative? Where do they kind of flow?
It's pretty much. So you got to understand that my people they're without a lot of amenities that we have in the city. So they're tough. They're really resilient.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from like the grandfathers all the way down to like us today, like me, Catherine, you know, my sister, my mom, we're pretty resilient, pretty much.
Yeah.
So we are heavily, like my people are heavily conservative. They're
really okay.
Yeah, it's more like red in any aspect because a lot of my people own like sheeps, cattle, horses, you know, and if you ask someone from Montana that owns farm animals, well, you would think that they're conservative, right?
Yeah, bleeding red. You know.
It's definitely the same way with the Navajo Nation people and my people. We have like a I don't know, like there's a saying that we say about ourselves is that we have like this inner desire to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like if something's like trying to take away my family or my friends or whatever, or something that I care about, we will go out of our way to even give up our lives to just fight against that kind of tyranny.
It's whatever threat.
Yeah, if there's a threat with our people, we always fight. Down to the women, down to the children, down to the babies, down to everything.
Down to the last dream catcher. Yeah. You know, we got this.
Well, at least you get the idea then.
Yeah. But it's funny because like and this is just me kind of piecing together what I've seen. I've noticed that like, and I don't mean this in a funny way. I noticed natives are a lot like Mexicans in a way, like in just the terms of like how they're like, just how they like fit in with like the rest of the U.S.
Yeah,
they're very blue collar. They maintain like all their heritage and history, but they still assimilate and like call the U.S. their home.
Yeah,
their family values are about the same. Just like the demeanor and like the way they act and like the way they view the world, it's a very akin to like the typical like Mexican American, the way I feel. The way from what I've seen and try to piece together.
If you get to meet a bunch of people on the reservation, you will start piecing together about, man, this guy's a veteran too. Oh man, I thought I just met another veteran. Then you'll meet a lot of Native veterans.
Mhm.
A lot. I think Native Americans are the highest by like percentage wise, like
per depth,
the
like
most
per capita
per
demographic.
capita, the most, like pretty much everyone serves.
Really?
Yeah, they're the highest. They're higher than African Americans. They're higher than white people. They're higher than Mexicans. Native Americans, I think it's like 52%.
Get out of here! Really?
Of Native Americans serve. It's like I said, it's like the desire to protect home.
And that's not even including like Navajo. That's like everybody.
It's all tribes.
Wow.
Yeah, in the United States that consider themselves Native Americans, 52%.
I would have never have guessed that, dude. That's
crazy.
Wild.
Yeah, it's almost it's proudful. Like, well, obviously Native Americans in general were warriors. We fought to the last breath all the time.
Yeah.
And I showed you about, like, remember the dog warriors,
Manuelito and
Chief Manuelito and the dog warriors from the Sioux, and like those guys, how they would tie themselves with a leather strap and put it on the floor and then not move and then like fight all the other warriors coming at them. That is some ballsy,
imagine doing that
shit.
Imagine doing that at the duty hut. Like, that's what you got to get past if you want to
do all the drunk Marines. You gotta fucking wrestle them. You gotta make map them.
Dude, that's nuts.
You gotta make map them into submission.
It's funny because, like, and I mean, I guess it makes sense because, like, when you go in school and stuff, or like when you listen to the media, you always hear like all this dogma about how like natives are like mistreated, and like they always try to broadcast, like they try to talk on your behalf, saying that like natives like have this like are victimized and all
or
this
like
stuff.
That animosity.
But like you never actually get to hear you guys.
Yeah, we don't really complain much. I don't hear my family complain much. We just take it on the chin and keep trucking along.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the only natives that do like what the media says about like complaining about, like, oh, we're sad about this, we're sad about that, is the ones that, and I think this is across the board about people who go to college, like universities, they keep getting fed all this nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And the only natives that complain are the ones that go to college, and then
interesting.
Yeah, okay. And then they're pretty much already assimilated into like that complaining culture.
That's so cool. Like, I don't say cool, but like it's like a interesting perspective.
Yeah, it's like a good understanding.
Yeah. So it's not like all the tribes, I would say. I mean, obviously they're different in their own respects, but they all like generally, act the same way.
I can say this for a fact. Most of my people are hardworking people that,
I love how you're talking about this as this Toby Keith song.
I know.
This is so perfect.
They are so obviously, like, we deal with a lot of the same problems everyday life, but it's almost like a joke if you so Navajo women are tough.
Yeah.
It's almost to the point where if you're a Navajo man and you complain about, working and doing all this to make your family complete, and you don't show more toughness or you don't show more resilience, they will roast you for they're like, oh, look at this guy, he's a fucking little bitch. They will do that.
You're seeing this kind of like the beta, okay?
Yeah, you're the beta. That's literally what they would do. And now I'm in a house full of them.
Yeah.
I got my
man,
daughter.
You're really under the microscope.
Yeah, it's like, god damn, I gotta make sure everything is perfect. But that just goes to show how, not even just Navajos, though, it's like how resilient Native Americans are.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not the ones to really, really complain about something that kind of got on our nerves.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. I'm trying to broadcast it to where it's understandable about what I'm saying.
Yeah, really like paint the picture.
Yeah. And I know there's a lot of things I'm leaving out, but it's just like, man, if you ever come to the reservation, which you're more than welcome to come with us to the reservation.
Please, dude. Give me like I want to come like when we do whenever part 2 is, dude. We're going in full blown.
Oh fuck yeah!
We're doing it in the We're doing this episode in the forest, so we'll be.
You're gonna have a good time. You're gonna have good food, obviously.
Yes,
you're gonna have good food.
Speaking of fried fry bread, bro, this stuff's the honey or salt, bro. This stuff's the shit.
God's gets to earth. You can go sweet or savory.
Yes, alhamdulillah. So, how many Navajo Indians did you meet? Because like, being in Arizona and then you go West Coast, were there a lot more of you guys in the Marines too?
Honestly, yeah, I met a lot of Navajos. It's kind of funny because like in the Marines, I would I'd meet someone brown and I can tell immediately if he's Mexican or if he's Native American. And if he's Native American, then I can start telling if he's Navajo or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just you can tell who's Navajo and who's not. Yeah, that's my sister, guys. Just so you know. She's pregnant. She's gonna poop out another Navajo.
Hey, another one. You're just rain dancing around the fire pit. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you?
But in the Marine Corps, there was a lot of Navajos that I bumped into and met, and then they would tell me, "Oh yeah, my name is Yazi." I'm like, "Yazi." You're just like, "Where are you from?" And then when you ask where you're from to another Navajo, it kind of gets you the perspective of like what kind of Navajo he is. So like if he tells me he's from like Chin Lee or from the Four Corners area or something like that, then I'm like, oh, okay, so he's kind of like this Navajo. But if he's like, oh, I'm from Monument Valley, then I'll be like, hey, are you related to me? What's your grandpa's last name? And then
I love that because like it means like because like we just think of like Navajos or like Indians as like one people, but like you break it down, there's even more. Like, are there hood Navajo people? Like, are there?
There.
Yes.
There's like
so if I walk up to like a teepee hut like in a do-rag, there'd be some who would understand me.
Oh,
like,
there'd be someone who,
hey, yo,
like,
what up, G?
What are you, blood or Crips? Like, it's like, what the hell?
Did they hold their bow and arrows with one arm?
Shut the fuck up.
Is there a tomahawk that way? Give me all of your shillings.
You're fucking mental, bro. Yeah, there is some Navajos who think that they're gangbangers and stuff like that, but it doesn't really. You know what? There is Navajos or Native Americans in the prison system that ask about like, what are you? You're not Mexican, right? No. You're Native? What tribe? And then you say Navajo, and they're like, okay, who's your grandfather? And I would say, James Ellen, and then they'd be like, okay, then you're not related to me, but you're still my brother.
Really? And they don't.
Yeah, it's almost like how in Mexican and in prisons you got the Mexicans that stick together, you got the white people that stick together.
Yeah, all the race gangs,
Asians. Yeah, and there's a whole section for Native Americans.
Damn, dude, like. It's got to be cool because it's like you guys are probably like the most savage ones in there. No offense, but like you guys are probably the most savage ones in there. But you guys are outnumbered as fuck, though.
We are, but no one. You know what's crazy is no one messes with us.
Really?
Because like, if you think about it, the Mexicans think that they're part Native too, so they have like a soft.
I was just about to bring that up. Like, how did like in a way, like, do they see you guys as like?
But they see us as like dirty face alcoholic drunks that like the retarded stepchild, the
redheaded subpar ones of
the redheaded stepchild. That's what they think about us.
But like you guys could still get protection from them and stuff like that if need be.
We can. It's not outright, but if we're if we mind our P's and Q's and we talk to them, then they have an understanding.
Yeah. Boy, Chief Manuelito. Oh, hey, he knows the words.
My last name is Gonzalez. It is a thing because they do have like Mexican gangs. They have a lot of like pride of being like from the Aztecs and the Mayans, like their bloodline is from them, so they have that pride of Native American. They are Native American.
Yeah,
So they have that soft spot, if I want to.
Yeah, because it is still part of who they are.
Yeah. And then, we're full out saying that we're proud of our people and being Native American.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that's kind of like the little connection that we have.
So do you guys look at Mexicans as like wannabes or something like that?
No.
Or like, how do you look at that?
So the history between Navajo, specifically my tribe, and Mexicans was back in the day. They used to like steal our women and people and babies. They used to steal them from us.
Oh, the conquistadors and stuff?
Well, no, just the Mexico Mexicans. Like 1800s Mexicans.
Okay.
They would steal like our people and then sell our women in slavery.
Really?
Yeah, they would do that. And we would do raids on them, like kind of like a retaliation kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like we have beef, but like there is a lot of like times where a Mexican marries a Navajo and vice versa, and then have kids, and so like we fight, but at the same time we're kind of like blended together.
So you guys are kind of like the black people of Mexico then. Just I'm just immediately like thinking, dude, this dynamic's getting weird.
It's just there's so much stuff that goes into, like, there's so much history. So much history.
No, dude, it really is. Like, it's very even though as dark as that is, I mean, it's really rich.
And it obviously it influences a lot of like things like food.
Mm-hmm.
Like, remember I gave you the fucking the stew yesterday?
Yes, dude. Oh my god.
And that's Mexican influence.
Mm-hmm.
And remember I was telling you that like there's a difference of like how we speak. Like Navajos we speak. If you're from New Mexico versus if you're from Utah or Arizona, we say, we mean the same thing, but we say it a different way. So like her parents and her family, they're from Chinle area. So that's like kind of almost close to New Mexico. It's still Arizona, but it's like really close to New Mexico. So like a lot of the New Mexican lingo comes into their vocabulary. So they call like, so fried bread, this is fried. Across the board, everyone calls it fried bread. Take away the oil, and then you have to them it's called tortillas. But we know Mexican tortillas is flat and
yeah, pretty universal.
Yeah. That's, to me, that's tortilla. To them, that's not a tortilla. So it's like, do the thickness of a fried bread, dry, like put it. We call it dry bread because there's no oil, so we call it dry bread, and they call it tortillas.
Interesting.
You see how it, like, there's like a little bit of like
a subtle
little
difference.
Yeah. We mean the same thing. It's just, and I'll be like, no, that's not a tortilla. A tortilla is like the Mexican tortilla that I know, that you can like rip and like, eat food with and stuff like that. But they call it tortilla, and it's literally fried bread without the oil. So it's like, that's what I call it dry bread, and my family calls it dry bread. My family's family, like, they call it dry bread because we're on this side of the borderline, if that makes sense. We're on this side of the Navajo Nation. They call it something different. It's just.
Are they like the Southerners of like the Navajo Nation? They're just like on one side of the border, then they're like the Hicks of it, per se.
Yeah, you can definitely say that because it's just the different ways we say different things. You know how like Southerners say Coke for every soda. And like other people say pop, or
up in the Midwest.
It's like the same thing. It's literally the same thing. Just
like that. Did you get a lot of flack for being like Navajo, or like, I don't want to say flack, but like, you mean people like did like drill instructors or stuff like fuck with you for being like Navajo, or did you get like the stereotypes like anybody if they're like Mexican or black or stuff like that?
You know what's funny? No drill instructor ever grilled me for any of that.
They just assume you were Mexican.
Yeah, and then my last name was Gonzalez, so
yeah.
But what I did get a lot of was from fellow Marines.
Yep.
They always tell me, Gonzo, shut the fuck up. You're not Native. Your last name's Gonzalez. Shut up. To me, you're Mexican. I'm like, no hablo Pablo.
No hablo Pablo. Like, fuck you. Devontae say, bro, get up.
Vatos Locos forever.
Speaking of, we got to go to Paco's Tacos in downtown when we get the chance.
Isn't there a
It's
taco
an
spot
airport.
that just opened up? A good taco spot. Apparently, it's called the Taco Spot. Literally, taco.
That's
spot.
literally what it's called.
Yeah, literally, it's called Taco Spot.
You know, while you keep talking to me about your Marines calling you Mexican, I'm gonna look that up.
Oh
now.
God, bro! Like, so the reason why I have my last name is Gonzalez is because my stepdad raised me when I was a little boy. He raised me, so I took his last name.
Okay.
But my original last name from my biological dad is Silver.
Silver.
Yeah. Yeah, Silver. Mm-hmm. My family's name from my mom is Ellen.
Ellen?
Ellen.
Shit, dude,
A-L-L-E.
well, if anything, dude, that's an upgrade, dude, because people would have just assumed you were white. Now you're just taking on Mexican. Mexican's closer to native.
I know. But
I was gonna guess, man. Like, man, of all the luck, your ancestors' names probably had like the typical, like the John Redcorn or like the
John Redcorn,
Hank Footcock or something. Fucking last name is Silver. What is your name, sir? Tom Silver. I was worried it was gonna be something intimidating.
Can you hear my name, Deion? Like a black guy, Deion Silver.
Well, that's who I thought you. Well, because when we first started working together, I saw your name on the roster and it said Deion, and I'm like, okay, we got a black guy working here, dude. That's pretty sick. I mean, I guess you could go as a black guy. I mean, do you do like drive-bys, but with like on your horse, like in a bow and arrow?
With a fucking bow and arrow. Yeah. I already knew you were gonna say fucking bow and arrow.
or forgive me, your tomahawk. Just, you just blindly throw tomahawks into like some TP village.
You know one of my going away fucking presents was like they encased a tomahawk, like actual fucking tomahawk, and then they had the plaque and everything like that inside it encased.
Really?
Fucking, yes, it was, and the tomahawk had feathers on it too.
Yo,
I was like, you motherfucker.
That's sick.
I don't know, man. Marine Corps was the most racist you can be without being really racist, because no one ever believed in all the racist shit you said. You had, like, your brothers were your brothers, and it was that way. You could say like the meanest racist shit, and it never would stick because you knew that guy was gonna be your
You're just busting each other's balls.
Yeah, exactly. But we do it to like, it's like an art for us.
Dude, it's funny you mentioned this because I saw I didn't read it, but it was just a headline of an article about one of the last Montford Point Marines. Do you know?
Oh yeah, the platoon of or the company of Black Marines.
It was because Montford Point was the for like.
It was
prior
like
to
after segregation, right? It was before segregation.
It was during it, but like it was prior to and then during World War II. It was a boot camp, but for Black Marines.
It's almost like the Red Tails, right? Like, remember the whole squadron of Black pilots that actually did a fucking phenomenal job of destroying all these Nazis.
Yeah. But during segregation, they that's where they would send all the Marines that were Black that were going
to Montford Point, right?
Yeah, but I was just thinking, like, you're saying all this, like, yeah, you could say the most racist stuff nobody ever mean it. I'm like, try telling that to them. I'm just thinking, like, imagine what they had to go through.
Okay, that's a different time.
They're just, I made a meme.
You crying, boy? You crying?
I made a meme about this for some of my friends. They like, could you imagine, like, you're in Montford Point, you're getting hazed, and it's like it's like you know Boondocks, right, with Uncle Ruckus. It's like it's like you're getting hazed at Montford Point, but it's like the scene, like the exorcism. It's just like, Uncle Ruckus, get your black ass out of here. They're just all beating you with the belts.
You see the one where Uncle Ruckus is like, the white woman body is a temple. Have you ever seen a black woman run?
It's a temple of doom. The key to happiness, Robert, is eliminate all black women from your life. And then Tom, the guy the black dude who's married to a white woman, he's like, well, that doesn't mean black women are bad. He's like, well, look at you. Are you married to a black woman? He's like, no, I'm married to a white woman. Exactly what I thought. Look how happy he is.
What is it? What does he call that? He thinks he has a disability, that he's deep down inside white, but his skin is
the revitiligo.
Yeah. He's like, I put the topical ointment with sulfur and bleach, and then he's like, and then what did he say? He's like, He's like, luckily I haven't gotten blacker in the past few years.
Now that I'm black, I'm gonna have to start rapping or selling crack or rapping about selling crack. Dude, it's so funny because even though that show was written by like an all black cast, there's no way that show would make it. Like in today's world, dude. It's the one show where like the media would like flat out like call black people evil, like to shut that down.
It's so fucking funny.
Dude, for as much as people complain about like the problems we have in today's day and age, I have to say I'm very lucky to like grow up on some of the stuff we grew up on back in the day, dude. We had some amazing things.
I'm just thinking about all that fucking Uncle Ruckus, bro. Like Uncle Ruckus has his actually own like not theme song, but like
the music,
sound.
It's the trumpet.
Yeah. You know Uncle Ruckus is gonna be right there.
Dude, I gotta play it now, dude. It's so funny because like now it's on the meme world, and whenever you hear it, it's like I think of Uncle Ruckus. When I just hear, you know he's coming. There's only one hope to solve this exorcism. May white God bless you, Robert. I don't even know if they have that on here, but I'm gonna look this up.
Uncle Ruckus. Cheers! I'll drink to that.
You know what? Yeah,
to Uncle Ruckus.
Yes,
and his methods.
Uncle Ruckus, you're an inspiration. All right, I'm just looking up the first video on YouTube. So if there's an N-word drop, I'm just gonna edit it out. Oh yes. Yep, this is it.
Yep.
You know his voice actor? He does like a cosplay of Uncle Ruckus, the actual voice actor. He would go out to like Comic-Cons or like certain events and stuff, and he literally dresses up as Uncle Ruckus. And like since he's the voice actor, he does the voice perfectly.
What's the one where do you know how Uncle Ruckus got his bulging eye?
I don't know. No,
it's because he kept because he has two younger brothers apparently, and he would always get in trouble with what do they call him, Mr. Something, and he would always get his. Did I just hear you have fun too?
Oh yeah. Did I just catch you having fun?
Did you just drop that bone?
Oh, his dad.
Yeah. And then
the shit out of him.
And then his mom would be like, "Oh, my baby." I gotta sprinkle one and tickle.
Oh, okay, you're good. We can pause it.
From your experience with Florida, is it really southern? Do you think?
It is, but it isn't. So the northern sliver of it is southern because that's basically you're in like southern Georgia.
Yeah.
But there's so much people there. Like when you go to where I'm at, like Daytona Beach and south, it's no longer like southern.
Okay, so you've been in Arizona for like a year and some change, right?
No, a few years.
A few years, right?
Yeah.
So there's some people that consider Arizona as southern too. What do you think?
No, you're southern. It's not geographic; it's cultural.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is there? I feel like there's like a sliver, like the same thing you said about
like Virginia is a southern state, even though it's
technically in the north.
Yeah, and it's voted Democrat for a long time. It's still
been sick if you voted for a Democrat.
Yeah, dude. Well, I mean,
have you seen that? Have you seen that fucking TikTok about that little kid? He starts crying, and then they're like, "What happened? What's wrong?" He's like, "He called me a Democrat."
That's funny.
You ever heard that one?
No, I have not. You can pull it up though.
God.
Yeah. Yeah, they make jokes though. They say Florida's the most northern southern state out there.
I believe it. I really believe it.
I mean, like I grew up in a part where it's like it's touristy, there's retirees, but there's also like enough where you have a mix of like every people group you can think of, and there's also people that like carry rebel flags and stuff.
See, I think that's how it is here in Arizona. Some like in parts of Arizona.
In Phoenix, definitely for sure. Like,
yeah. Oh well, Phoenix is like mixed, and then there is a majority of like Spanish-speaking people.
Yeah, but you guys are like, I would still consider you guys like culturally a Southwest state. Like you guys, like you have the Western cowboy feel. There's a Mexican feel, Native American a little bit.
Okay, so yeah, I can agree with you on that one. That one, that
I would still consider you guys a cowboy state.
Almost like the Wild West or whatever.
Yes,
like
exactly.
How people like explain about something like Billy the Kid hung out here for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, there is a spot in downtown Phoenix that like if you go down like into the basement, there is like a poker table that they didn't touch, and it's still like with the chips and all that. Everything is still right there.
Really?
And people will pull out like dollars or quarters or whatever and put it in there, and you see the floor just filled up with like money.
Wow.
Yeah, and they just leave it like that. And then obviously we have Tombstone. Tombstone, like apparently Tombstone is the place where they like the longest poker game has been played, and I think they said it was like 8 years,
Really?
continuous, nonstop poker game, continuous.
8 years of a poker
8
game.
years of a poker game. Yep, and it's in a basement.
Man, I gotta see that now.
Can you imagine that? Like,
How do you do? How
exactly.
Like,
That I'm still like,
there's some pauses to that. You know that for sure.
I feel like there was, but
Like you got to account for bathroom breaks.
it's literally
family,
it's
work.
literally been in the books that it's been the continuous poker game.
Did they account for the time that they watched the Young Gravy music video, like there at all? Or
I'm pretty sure they
shout out
probably,
to Young Gravy, by the way.
They probably stopped and listened to Billy the Kid sing a little bit.
Oh yeah.
All right. I gotta ask you one thing. Since we're on the topic of like westerns,
Yes.
what is your favorite cowboy western movie?
Oh boy. Favorite cowboy. Dude, that's a tough one.
Who's one that you would watch again and again?
Man, I haven't. I hate to say this, but I have not seen enough of Why am I blanking on his name? The Duke. I haven't. John Wayne.
Yeah, John Wayne.
I have not seen enough of him. I've only seen like a couple movies from him, so I feel like that would change if I start watching some of his classics.
One thing you do need to watch is like some of the newer western movies, because like
Just the Western's making a comeback, dude. It's strong.
God. It is
Like with the series, like 1883, 1923, they're doing okay.
The Yellowstone.
Yellowstone, yeah, that. What was another one? Revenant, like that was a little way back.
Oh
But that's a
God, I
fucking
bought that
great
movie.
film.
I bought that movie.
great film.
I have it. It is amazing. And what's funny is like I can watch it in the summer and I'll feel like cold. I need a blanket because it's like it's nothing but in the winter and stuff like that. And what are they in Wyoming or Montana or something like that? They're up north.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Dude, I watched there was because I have some relatives that are like Mormon and stuff. There was even one, it was like an independent film. It was about like Joseph Smith when he got like thrown into prison. So I don't know if this is
really.
Yeah, so no, because he was thrown into prison, like their story is like he was like falsely thrown in. But I don't know if this would be a Western because it takes place in Illinois, but it's a cowboy. He's like the cop or the sheriff, and his job was to like guard him from like the mobs and stuff. And it's pretty good. I'm like, whoa, like this is
you got to send me that. I'm more than willing to watch something like that, especially if it's like a historical.
Yeah,
like
I mean, it's
show?
historical. I don't want to say historical fiction, but it's like it's a movie. Like they try to portray it from the prison guard's point of view. But I'm like, dude, this is surprisingly good. Like,
what's that one? It's about the railroad, like the Union Pacific, and then like
Hell on Wheels.
Yes, that one. Oh my God,
I haven't watched that one, but I've heard good things.
Watch it. It is fucking like you got Mr. Bohannon, and he's like a Confederate soldier, but he's like he needs to make money because he has nothing no more.
Yeah,
he lost everything, and then he used to own slaves, but he gave slaves freedom before they came in to take away the slaves. He gave them freedom, and bro, and then you just want Mr. Bohannon to be the best, but he's not like he's a good person, but he's not a good person.
He has a rough past.
He's a human.
Yeah. Man,
it is. You're just like rooting for him, but rooting for the side characters. It's a good show. It's really good.
There's one that my roommate he's watched. I've only seen skits of it, but it's it's John something or the show of it's named after the main character, but it's a true story about the first ever U.S. like the Black U.S. Marshal. It took place in like the 1870s.
Shit. I've been wanting to watch that one.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Really? Is it on Hulu? Or
I think it's the same one that's like I could be wrong. It might be the same one that 1883 and Yellowstone are on.
Man, I've seen that one where he's like the he's a marshal and he's trying to bring law and order, but
he's black in the 1800s.
It's difficult for him.
Like,
That's like the wrong time to be.
Yeah.
colored. I've been wanting to watch that one because, man, I was telling Kat too, like
just being a marshal back then, like, had to have been a wild story
in itself was probably like a fucking hard job,
bro. Like, it's a hard job now, like, let alone back then.
My dad, he used to get in trouble a lot. He went to prison for a little bit, but my dad, he has like a soft spot for like Westerns and like, okay, so when I was younger, he would always take us to like Tombstone and like all these other places, like old Western towns, because he really had like a love for like Westerns.
Yeah.
And I think that rubbed off on me because I like to go to like Bisbee and like all these other like old mining towns and like learn about all that stuff. And it's just, I don't know, it feels nostalgic and it feels really good.
Yeah.
To go there. And I've been wanting to take them, and it's good that Kat likes that stuff too.
You gotta take me, dude. I like it too.
Dude, we gotta go to Bisbee. Bisbee is really cool. It's like south of Tucson.
Mm-hmm.
It's right near the border of Mexico, but there's a mine like that. So Bisbee is known for copper, and there's like a little tour that you can take where you sit in like literally like a mining cart. You sit, they remanufactured the mining cart to where you can sit in, like it's almost like a ride, and you go through the actual mine that they used to mine out.
Okay.
Copper. And it's so cool, bro. It's nice. And then if you go during Halloween time, they have like the ghost tour. So you go through the mine, you go through these haunted and these hotels are still up. So you get to stay in the hotel and you get to like hear about the ghost stories that happen about like these old Wild West shootings and all. It's crazy, bro. It's really nice. And then you get to drink like draft pilsners and all these other cool stuff. Like, I mean, it's a good experience. I never got to do it before, but I've heard about it. My mom has been through it, and she told me about it. She's like,
"Well, I think we're going to.
We have to go. We have to go.
We're doing that. We're doing the camping trip. We're doing everything, dude.
On top of the camping trip, we got to be. Remember, I told you about the scary shit that happens when you're camping out there up north.
No, you didn't tell me that.
Bro, skinwalkers and all those other.
You better come equipped with that tomahawk, man.
Oh man, dude, I thought I was gonna be tough enough to deal with it. Being a Marine and everything like that, and then but you hear like these. Oh man, you hear like walking. You're like, what is that? And you're like, you kind of want to look, but you don't want to look because you don't want to see the like if it's a fucking Yeti or
something. You don't want to.
You don't want to
make eye contact.
You don't want to make eye contact like Bigfoot. Yeah. Fuck. There is some creepy shit up there. There is. I don't know how to explain it, but like
I want to get scared though.
We need to bring like.
I want to be on the next. This was made off a true story, scary film.
You're gonna be on what's that? Discovery Channel or something.
Yes, catching Bigfoot. Even though it has the same result every week.
It's just you going to take a shit. But I swear to God, bro, like sometimes up north, and this is up north, it starts getting into like Navajo territory. And the reason why Navajos have skinwalkers is because and the long walk with the army.
You stay in your car because we're faster than you think.
The army made us walk like a couple hundred miles to get to I think Kansas. From Arizona, walk all the way to Kansas. And a lot of the elders couldn't make it because it was they would die on the way and stuff like that. And then the American army would say, hey, tough tits, can't make it, fine, you die, or like if you injure yourself, you fall over, you can't walk no more, they'll just shoot you in the head. That's what they used to do. And they will give us like small amount of foods. So Navajo medicine men and like people who were spiritual, what they would do to feed our people, what they would run off far, and then they would, you know, do black magic, and then they would turn themselves into different animals to hunt and get more meat and food, and then bring it back to our people. That's where skinwalkers, in our legend, skinwalkers come from, is that it was medicine men that turned evil but they were still trying to feed our people from that long walk.
So you're telling me that if I do come across a skinwalker, if I just talk in Navajo, then they'll like,
oh, bro, you don't want to.
You're like, okay, you're cool, homie. Like,
so in our lore, if you come across a skinwalker, that skinwalker will always haunt you. He will always be around you, no matter what. If you go to a different state, different country, he will always stalk you,
really,
to kill you. If if you try to shoot a skinwalker, the lore is that like if you try to shoot him, he will mend the bullet a different way. Like it won't hit him. He'll bend it. You know, it won't go straight.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to kill a skinwalker is if you know him, if you know his name, and you let a medicine man know, and then the medicine man he'll reverse whatever evil that he has back onto him.
So I have to find an actual Navajo medicine man?
Yeah. That's the lore I was told.
Do they exist anymore? Or?
There is medicine men that help, and you know, all this other stuff, but like it's kind of like, I don't know, it's getting less and less like we reach out to them. It's almost like we go to like normal medicine now, like the hospital or something like that, you know, for
yeah. Why find a medicine man when you got CVS right here, dude? It's
the hubba or what?
Yeah, just waves a rat in front of your face.
It's like, oh, that's gonna make me feel better, you know. That's the sad part about, like, you know, we're not as spiritual anymore, like younger Navajos or anything like that. But there is situations where, like, you know, if me and Kat get scared about Maddie, how she'll cough a different way, or like she seems like she's sick, you know, it doesn't hurt to go ahead and, you know, have a medicine man pray for her. You know, it doesn't hurt. You know, it's just another. It's like almost like praying for somebody.
Yeah,
kind of. That's pretty much how we feel about it now.
Yeah. Well, do you want to wrap it up? Do you want to?
Yeah, we can do a part 2.
Okay, yeah. Well, the ending tradition we have for you, Deion, you got to give some advice to the boys that are listening. And then, do you have any plugs, like social media, promotional stuff you're doing, anything like that?
I do. I have. I just have my Facebook, which is my first name, Deion Gonzalez. Advice that I can give to a junior Marine or a younger Marine, a Marine that's still in a non-boot. Make sure you're not a boot. Keep your head up. It's always greener on the other side. You're gonna see all that, but you know, there is something about Marine Corps that kind of ties everybody together. No matter if you did this, if you're a pogue or not, we're all together in some way. It makes, once you're out and you're in the civilian stuff, you're in a first civ div, that's the only thing you have. So keep your head up, listen to your NCOs, and just do whatever you can to make yourself better, because everything that you do in the Marine Corps will translate into the civilian world. You will be a good person if you are a good Marine.
I like that. And then you got any one-liners or wise words of wisdom? Any Navajo quotes, just like that?
Yeah. He's fun enough.
I have no idea what that means, but
they said, "Hello, how are you doing?"
That's it.
Yeah.
How do you say that?
Yate.
Yate.
So you say ya,
Yate.
Yeah, but you don't say the T. You say the T on the T.
Yate.
Yeah. Ish.
Ish.
Banana.
Banana.
You say banana.
Banana.
Like you're breathing out. Yeah.
Banana.
Yeah. And then that's hello. Like, so you can say yate.
Yate.
Like it's almost like it's a greeting, but it's like you can say good evening, good morning. It's the same. It's across the board the same.
Okay.
And
Multiple
then,
meanings.
Yeah. And banana means like how are you? Like, so you're saying, depending on the time of the day, if it's in the evening, you're gonna say that translates to good evening, how are you? How are you doing? It's how are you doing? How, like, are you okay? It's not how are you doing, it's how was your life? Like, if it's okay, if you're doing okay,
You're checking on their well-being.
Yeah, that's literally checking on your well-being.
So when you have to check on your guys or check on your boys, you say "Yats banana."
You got to slam a beer on the way out.
Yeah.
Speaking of, oh man,
we ran out.
There's one left.
No, you gotta drink it though. So you're the guest of honor, so
this guy got to fucking drive home. Well, Semper Fi, do or die. I know Memorial Day just passed.
Yes.
Cheers to all the brothers and sisters that came before us.
A little bit.
Thank you to Cody. Thank you for having me on this podcast.
Thank you for coming on.
Semper Fi, do or die.
Semper Fi. We're out of here. See you tomorrow.